everybody, it's Leah. I am back with a new Make This With Me project. We are going to make a reclaimed book mini album. So I know I make them all the time and I show them on my page, and I did one for Christmas and it got a lot of hits, probably because it was a December daily and everybody is looking at December dailies in December, but I really wanted to get myself prepared for the summer. My best friend and I have decided that we are going to garden. She is going to do the fruits and vegetables at her house, and I'm going to do the herbs and things at my house. And then we're going to share, and we're going to jar and can and all this stuff. I'm really kind of excited about it. So I wanted to document the whole shebang on some beach glass. I wanted to document the whole thing in a mini album. So the other day I was out and I found this Citrus Bliss kit from Pink Paisley. And I thought, oh, that was such perfect paper. It's very much like us. It's very bright and exuberant. And so yeah, so here are the things that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about in the project how I gut a book. I'm going to talk about how, and right now I'm going to go through how I build my collection so that I know what I want to pull from to do a mini album. Okay, so first I'll show you the paper. The Citrus Bliss paper is really great, and the reason that I like it for mini albums is that it has cut aparts. So, my cut paper. Okay, so as I go through paper and I look to do a mini album, I in general choose paper that has cut aparts. So here I can cut this paper up and I can use these little citrusy things and make die cuts out of it by fussy cutting. I can, and one of the projects we're going to do that's going to be separate from this, I'm going to do just as a regular share video. I'm going to use glossy accents to make these into little accents. I can think of a better way to say it. I also look for, in a mini album, I look to see how big the pattern is on the paper. So this one, for instance, you can see that I'm sorry, there's a lot of glare because of my lights, but you can see that the pattern is very small. And I like small patterns because once I start layering my pictures on top of the paper, I like to still be able to see the pattern around it. So where are those cut aparts? I know there's another section with, oh, here's some more cut aparts. And again, we can, if we wanted to, we could use glossy accents, but I like to be able to take and make embellishments out of my paper. So I look to see if the paper has also a pattern in it that I would want to cut apart. Where am I? This is a very large one. I may or may not use this. Maybe I'll use it on the cover. You know, I look through the paper to just see what I really like about it. I love this citrus, and I love that in the behind it, you can see that there's a pattern behind the paper, so there's like layers to it. I love that depth of texture. I love Pink Paisley's paper. I think they're great. I see this little lemon paper I can cut apart and use the lemons. Here, these are the cut aparts I'm talking about. So I really enjoy cutting these out and using them as inserts for journaling, and I love journaling cards. If you take your pocket page journaling cards and if they coordinate well, you can add that to your paper collection. To the flamingos are hysterical. Oh my god! You can add your journaling cards, and usually I do go through my old journaling cards and see if I have anything that coordinates as well, which I do. I'm also going to add to this for more journaling and places to add pictures if I cut parts out of pictures, or I like to print my pictures small. That's another project I'm going to show you how to do that using Photoshop. So that's my paper. And then the next thing I need is a book. So this is the book that I'm going to cut apart. It's Satori. I don't really care for whatever it is. I bought at a dollar store. And I try to find books about this size. I like it because when I put the envelopes inside, the envelopes fit well within the pages of the book, or the structure of the book, and then I have room for my inserts that go in the top of my pages to not stick out of the top. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it the exact same way that I build them. Usually I do the version that I saw on Kathy Order's page, which she got from someone else. So I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do that and what hinge I'm going to use to build the book. But regardless, I'm going to use envelopes that are going to fit 5x7 cards. Okay, so this book is a little bigger than 6. It's about 6 1/4 by 9 1/4. That's a good size because the 5x7 fits very well within it. So the other thing I look for when I get a book is the first thing I do is I take the dust cover off and I see what color the book is. And God help me, it's a white book. I get very nervous with white because it gets dirty so fast. But I just love the white with the citrus, and it's going to look really good. I'm going to show you how to gut the book, again, how I take it apart, how I clean it up, and how I set myself up with my binding inside of the book to replace this. But I'm probably going to end up using color ink to distress the edges, just so that if it does get dirty around the edges, because that's the first place your book will get dirty, it looks intentional. Okay, so that's my book, and the thickness of my book is just about 1 inch, and that will allow me to get at least 3, if not 4 signatures inside the book, and depending how thick I want to make it. The other thing that I like about this pink paisley paper, and I very strongly suggest when you look for a paper collection to do your gutted book, is look for thin paper. I used to use the Recollections paper, and I found that it was just so heavy, and the pink paisley paper has a nice heft to it. It's not super thick, but it's very pliable, and that's great when you're doing the spine because you're able to lay paper along the spine and not have it crack. Okay, so after I choose my paper collection, if I don't have a whole, like, say a kit, because I belong to a kit club, but let me get that out of there because you can see the light reflecting, then I have to build a collection myself. So the next thing I do is I find envelopes. I usually go for 5x7 envelopes. I usually buy the multi-pack ones, from Recollections, but I found these. They're seasonal envelopes. I'm gonna open it up for you, and they're yellow, and I've never used a color. Well, no, I mean, I use black and craft or whatever, but I've never gone for like full-blown color envelopes. So this envelope can fit a 5x7 card. And yeah, so we're gonna cut it apart, and then we're gonna make our binding the color to match. Well, however you wanna do is how you do it. But this, I'm gonna make the binding match the envelopes so that you don't notice the binding between the pages. Okay, so I have 12 envelopes. You're going to need at least 6, if not 8 minimum, unless you want to also add envelopes that you can tuck into your spine. I mean, into the hardcover part of your book to store whatever you'd like to store. But I would suggest have at least 6 envelopes. Okay. I love the way that it coordinated with my papers. That was really good. Then the next thing I do after I know I have my envelope and I know I have my paper collection, and if I'm not going to use a 6x6, I'm good, I start to look for the first embellishments. So I got really lucky for Valentine's Day. They had these stamps that have pineapples, which I have on my paper, and flamingos, and it also had a die cut, so I can run that through my embossing machine, which also does these very thin die cuts, and I'll be able to make little flamingos and use markers, paints, color pencils, whatever I want to color in this one flamingo here that's going to be a different color, and I can use my inks for stamping. It's really cute, and I love the sentiments. I love this "You are fabulous," "Happy day," "Hello," because it's a book about me, my friends. That's going to be really fun. And then I found these Mombi sticks. Now, the reason that I chose these particular stickers is I found that, like, when I'm using just one paper, I may want to add another color to kind of boost it up a little bit. So you can see here, I mean, there's like these grays and very light blues and these orange and pinks, but I wanted to make it a little bit richer, so I found these stickers that have the, that are Friend Sentiments by Mombi Sticks, and they have a lot of like these very saturated aquas and pinks and like salmon colors, and that's gonna really kind of boost this up and make the paper look a little bit juicier and a little more exciting. And I just love all the sentiments. Besties, you're the best. Hello, best buds, friends forever, you, me equals awesome. It's a lot of fun things. I even love, look, these are clear, so I just have clear with a little sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, it's hard to. A little bit, maybe. And some that you can journal in. Make sure that you use a smudge-proof pen when you're journaling on these, because they're like a plasticky sticker. I didn't get the Mombi chips because I'm not sure that I want to use chipboard in it, because in a mini album versus doing a layout, I have to worry about how thick the embellishments get on the page, as opposed to just on my cover, and I didn't think that I needed to buy a whole thing of chipboard stickers if I'm only going to use them on the cover. Okay, so that's that. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is look for die cuts. Now, I had a really hard time. I can't find these die cuts anymore. I mean, they're gone. So I looked through my own personal stash to see if I could find die cuts, because even out I couldn't find die cuts to go with my collection. So I looked through my stash and I found that I had some old die cuts, and they also, at the same time that I bought them, I bought these Flair, Bottle Cap Flair, and they have all citrusy things on them. Fizz, pop, cola, this pink lemon fizz, which was really cute. And then these die cuts, which are all like summery lemonade, and I still have a little bit left after doing my niece's book. So I'm gonna use these as well to embellish my pictures, embellish my pages. I also think I'm going to make a charm for my book. So I have these Tim Holtz fragments. So that's another project I'm gonna do. I'm gonna I've never really used them. As far as I know, I just use a little glossy accents. But we're gonna experiment and make a charm that's gonna hang off of the spine of the book, if I can get it right. Good luck with that, Leah. Okay, and the next thing I did, I looked through my my frames, because I know I'm gonna want to use frames, possibly on the cover and maybe also on the inside. So I have these crepe paper, the Pier frames, and I like them because they're a little bit muted, but they still, some of them have these nice colors. Like I've got this great like orangey one and these citrusy lime color. This one has a really nice yellow to it. Got this green and these reds and pinks. So I have some nice choices. If I want to just use them on my cover, I can. They're not so thick that I don't think I can't use it inside the book. So I do intend fully on using at least one, if not a couple of these frames in the book. And that's another reason why I was like, I didn't want to go too crazy with chipboard sentiments, because I knew I wanted to use the frames and I know they're going to take up a little bit of space. Okay. Then I looked and saw what else did I have laying around that could go with this. So as I go, I don't just look at the colors of things. I mean, yes, these little pinwheels or paper flowers, whatever you want to call them, they do go well with my embellishments, but I also think about what I'm going to be talking about. And since we are talking about gardening and freshness and fruits and vegetables and stuff, I had these fun macarons and I love these. My girlfriend and I enjoy eating them and making them. Well, I don't enjoy making them. They're a pain in the behind to make, but I enjoy eating them when they're done. And I tend to buy them in very fresh fruit flavors. And I'm certain that we will be taking the fruit that we grow to make jams and to put them inside macaron to eat ourselves. So, and I love the colors. I think they just really pop and bring this a little bit to life. A can, mason jar, a little wood piece, because I'm gonna make this into a little book. So that's another project we're gonna do. We're gonna make a little book that inserts inside of one of our pages. I'm also gonna do a shaker card. So that'll be a lot of fun. I have some doilies, some white doilies laying around. And these are great because I can use them white, or I can mist them, I can draw on them, I can glue stuff to them. I mean, I love doilies. They're very versatile and they look really great behind photos for a little bit of just decoration that brings it a little bit more depth. I found also that I had these Maggie Holmes badges. What is that one badge? I like the colors on some of these. Oh, it's flowers. Probably won't use that one, but I think I will probably use like this yellow one. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. Is it focusing? Yeah, maybe this yellow one and this pink one, just to give a little something to my cover of my book. I gotta tell you, save this part, guys. Always save this little card that things come on. They have such pretty like printing and stuff on it, and you never know how what you'll want to use it for layering or something on a layout. What else? Embellishments. Oh, paper clips. I really like to use paper clips, and I have a lot of different colors that go really well with this. These I got at like the dollar spot at Target. I have a gray one laying around, and there's gray in the paper, so I'll probably end up using that one for something. And then I have these ones also. They're like a blue color. So really trying to pull, this blue actually goes more with the stickers here that I have. And you can see how it like pulls together some of that, not that one in particular, but like here, pulls that color together. So I really like the idea of having a few different colors of paper clips. Oh, and I have these also. They're like copper. Just to get, and that, I love the way that just sets everything off. Oh, I love copper. It's so pretty. There's not enough copper stuff in scrapbooking. There really isn't. Is it focusing? It's so cool. I love them. I really, really do. Is that okay? That's enough of my copper paper clips. You guys like, get rid of the paper clips later. We want to see what else you have. Yeah, so I love having paper clips when I make a book, just because there are going to be things that I'm going to want to put into my scrapbook that I'm not necessarily going to want to glue down, and I'm going to want to be able to use interactively. My roller date sentiments, I always have a few different roller dates on hand because they come with sentiments on them, and I do have one that also has like just sentiments, and I want to get more of them because they're so fun, and I like all the different handwriting. Let me see what else. My shine mists. I always have, you know, and just your regular, I bought a lot of shine mists recently, guys. I bought like 4 the other day. So I'm going to have those on hand. My acrylic paints, enamel dots. I love enamel dots. I'm gonna cry when I run out of these, but yeah, I know I'm gonna use enamel dots. I use them on all my layouts, and I will probably use them in my mini album as well. I'm definitely becoming a mini album convert, guys. I love them. Like, now that I'm like using them actively for myself, I'm finding like, wow, I see the benefit of, because I make them all the time for other people, and I'm always like, oh, people really love these. And I've always enjoyed 12 by 12 scrapping, but I found that this is a great way for me to tell a story. I've said it before with other books, just telling a story over the course of time versus just one moment captured frozen. And I probably will still 12 by 12 scrapbook some of our events and some of our things and some of our photos, but for the most part, it's gonna go into our mini album. Okay, the last thing I always choose are letters. Mostly because I have a hard time narrowing it down. So I picked a lot of letters. That doesn't necessarily mean I will use all of them, especially because this is way too many to use on one project. But because it's not a 12 by 12 layout, I have a lot more flexibility in what letters I want to use. So as I'm starting to put everything together, I will probably narrow this down, but I like to make sure that I have at least 1 or 2 different large size thicker, and I really love this one. It's called Hello. It's from Amy Tangerine, and it's printed fabric, and I love the stitching around it, and I love the acidy citrus color. So more than likely this will be like my go-to letter for my cover. And then I like to have one other one. Usually it's a cardboard one, and that's this thicker here from called Sunrise. I may or may not use this. I like, again, this color. It kind of goes with it, but it doesn't matchy match, and I like that because it adds a little something. It has a peachiness to it that pulls the pink and the orange together in the paper, and that's why I like it. And then I will generally, like, I have some other ones I may or may not use. This has citrus in it, but this is from Grand Bazaar, Basic Gray. I liked it because there was citrus in the letters. I'm just telling you why I picked all of these out of my stash. I don't necessarily, again, know that I'm going to use them all, but I liked that there were these acidy citrus colors in with the brown, and I like that they're a bigger tile, so I like that. I also have these ones from American Crafts. They're Everyday 1 and Everyday 2. They went with the, oh, it'll come to me. What collection does this go with? Neapolitan collection, and I like the colors. It has the pink and this kind of a tealy blue that's in the stripe in this paper, and I like that they go together, and I like having a small tile. So this will more than likely be the small tile that I use, but again, I haven't married myself to that yet, because that also depends on how everything starts to look as it comes together. And I will probably have 2 tiles, because I don't want to just use one when I'm doing a project, because there's going to be so many places where I'm going to want to write small sentiments, and maybe I don't have a stamp that is going to say what I want to say about the picture. I also have these little white ones, so these I mean, they're not a tile, but it's a small letter, so that may be the other one. I liked these just in general. I have a lot of, I've got so many of these. I have a lot of this left, but not a lot of it, and I have it in 2 colors that really work well maybe not this color, but the peach color, just because I want to kill it. I've had these from the dollar spot for so long, but because I only bought one sheet of it, I kind of just want to kill it. And this is a great way when I only want to say maybe yum or look or grapes or beets or whatever it is that we're growing. You know what I mean? I can just do a one-off word and maybe finally get rid of this because I've had it forever. I just like these because they're corrugated, and I liked this deeper color. I thought maybe it would set off something. Again, not 100% sure, but I'm more than likely going to go with that acid green color. A white letter just because I have another white letter. But I don't particularly always want to use these circular ones because they're hard to put next to each other and not take up a lot of space. Okay, these were also ones that I just pulled out of my stash again. I just wanted to pull a lot to see what I had. And I typically do that with letters. I pull a lot of letters, but I'll start narrowing it down as soon as I start scrapbooking because I start to see what goes well with each other. Yeah, these were just some alpha sticks from Color Blocks from like 1,000 years ago. I bought from my kids' scrapbook. I still haven't finished. Oh my God, he's almost 8. But I loved the colors were so like cute and juicy and reminded me of like the fruit colors in here, so I pulled that. And then I had these Bella Rouge ones, which that's what they kind of look like, but they're more gray when they're all laid out. Just because they're cute and they're plastic and they're gray, and there is some gray in here, so I like that they're a thin plastic and I can use them inside of my book without it sticking up too much. I just have to make sure that when I do it, I figure out if I want to use glossy accents or if I want to staple before I start gluing pages and things down, so that if, like, say I have a piece of paper and I want to glue it to the envelope or whatever, I should staple the letters down first and then glue that down to my book. So this is one of those things I have to think way ahead of time if I'm going to use it, if I want to staple it. And then also these are from the Pier. I got them for $1.49. I've been looking at these every single time I go to Tuesday Morning for the last like 3 months. And finally I was like, Leah, you like them. I love that they're big tiles, like they're enormous, and there's nothing in the back to show you how they look when they're all laid out, but I thought they could be a lot of fun, so I picked them up. They might be too much, I think, orange for this, but it was good to have them, and I just purchased them, and I want to show you guys that there's some fun stuff. Even if you skip on something, it may still be there when you go back. So that's pretty much it. That is pretty much everything that I'm going to use. So I suggest you start pulling together a collection of things from your stash now. If you like, you know, I love stash shopping. It's good to use up what you have. I can't wait to do this project with you. It's going to take a while, so it's going to be every week there'll be a new part of building the album, but in between building the actual album, there'll be small videos on all of the embellishments and pieces that we're going to put, like the shaker card, etc., that we're going to do inside the album. So there'll be a little bit of content every week for you to view. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait for you to make this with me. Bye.